chaps and chapesses, how are you guys doing today? My name is Anima, and today we have a post-commentated Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battle for you all, this time against Yee. Now, don't laugh at the name because it struck fear into my very soul as soon as I saw it. This is an OU tier match. Now, disclaimer, this is a passerby special. Now, before everyone poos themselves in sheer rage, I do like to test my teams on passerby before actually testing them out against people I know and recognize. So, but I will say that passerby battles will have to be of a certain kind of quality before I actually decide to upload them. Now, apologies if I sound a bit different. We are using a new microphone, and I really like this headset, so I do hope that the sound comes out okay. So, as you can see, we have some very threatening Pokemon brought to the table. That is a Heatran, Terrakion, Gyarados, Mega Venusaur, Latios, and a Clefable. 3 of these Pokemon I have no experience with, so that's cool. And my opponent has brought an extremely threatening, horrendous Ferrothorn, Gliscor, Uberth, Aegislash, and the Mega Lucario, as it is revealed to be, and a Latios and Tyranitar. Now these things are upsetting. These are very upsetting things, but we must not boo-hoo on my opponent because they are simply a passerby, which does like the organizational thing. But regardless, it was a pretty good battle, so I'm just going to hit play, and I want you guys to sit back and enjoy the show. Now, this is super hyper sped up because it took a damn long time. I did decide to lead with Heatran as my opponent led with the Tyranitar. I make a stupid play here because I forgot that I didn't have enough leftovers and stuck a balloon in my Heatran, so I should have just stayed in and gone for the Stealth Rocks, knowing my opponent couldn't hit me with a bloody EQ, but I'm an idiot, so. Tragedy! My opponent goes for the Stealth Rock as I switch into my physically defensive Lucifer, the Clefable, and I did predict the outswitch, so I went straight into Goober, performing a double switch, put myself in a more favorable position. But this is a Mega Lucario. I was like, oh, I can live one close combat or one Aura Sphere from Lucario, but I did not know it was gonna be a Mega, and it goes for the Aura Sphere and comes just shy of taking me out. It was very lucky that it was a special attacking Lucario, not a physically attacking, because my Heatran is specially defensive and it does massive Goober, if you couldn't tell. So my opponent brings in the Latias and goes for the Surf, which is a good play because it hits everything on my team. At least they'd gone, you know, Dragon wouldn't have hit very hard, and Psyshock and so on, but Surf was a good move indeed. Now, I went for the Wish here because I wanted to get some health back, possibly pass it back to the Heatran. I did save Heatran for Death Fodder, but it would have been nice to potentially pass it back, and I went for the Protect here just to scout what my opponent would do if they had the Gyro Ball or something like that. So I know this thing can't touch me henceforth if I switch into Mega Venusaur, which is precisely what I do. I have Hidden Power Fire on this version of Marcus, so I do know that I can do some decent damage to this Ferrothorn. And it does like half, which I honestly expected it to do more, but the Ferrothorn is definitely especially defensive from that damage, you know what I'm saying? So he is going to switch out and go into the Tyranitar to take the next Hidden Power Fire, as I predicted that and went for the Sludge Bomb. But it didn't really matter because both are resisted. Honestly, it just did 3 damage instead of 2. So that's nice. My opponent makes a switch and goes into their Aegislash as I just suck. But at this point, I went for a Leech Seed and I managed to catch the Gliscor, which is nice. My opponent wasn't going to stay in. I think they were switching around a lot here because they were anticipating me to switch out. But honestly, I have absolutely no reason to move from my position. I'm okay here, and until the Latias comes out, I am perfectly fine. But I went for the Giga Drain here, and it's gonna do a whopping total of about 20 damage, I think, but I can't stay in on the potential Psyshock, so I do decide to fodder off Goober just to see what it would have gone for. And Goober is gonna die to Hazard, so no Wish passing there, I'm afraid. And these hazards are very sad indeed, so I go into Gabriel because I know I can scare the shit out of this thing, and it's totally fine, it's totally cool, it's chill, it's wonderful. Go for the Draco Meteor, and we hit the Aegislash for decent damage. Not bad considering it's resisted, but terrible if you consider it Stab Life or horrendous Latios. Come on dude, he needs to hit some weights at some point. Go for the EQ here, and I had a feeling it was weakness policy, but I decided, my good friends, before you flame me alive, to just try and get some damage on it, and I didn't see Gabriel getting the opportunity to do more. And I knew that if it was weakness policy, I have an unaware Clefable just like over here, and I could take at least one Iron Head if it turned out to be the physically attacking variant. But he went for the King Shield just to put himself into the defensive form and not take any damage while in Blade form. Look at me explaining Aegis Slash mechanics to you like you don't even know, but one day this could be legend because it is Ubers. Uber schmoobers now. So they don't want to get destroyed, so they go back into the King Shield after these resulting shenanigans. And this isn't really doing an awful lot for them, but they did decide to switch out, and I'm not sure I agree with that, just because if they'd just gotten to me while I was being cheeky and going for like, if they'd just gone for like a double, like, I don't know, I think they could have messed around with me a bit more, but then I play Aegis Slash very aggressively, so who knows. But my opponent does predict me going for the Protect, and goes for the spikes because I went for Protect last time, so they've cottoned on to my shenanigans and I can't out-shenanigan them anymore. I'm just gonna going for useless Moonblast, lowering that powerful special attack just in case that thing wanted to do a nice and cheeky Hyper Beam, because we all know that's a regular thing nowadays. But the Leech Seed is going to upset me because it just does, it really does. But I go out into Marcus as my opponent switches out and goes into their Aegis Slash. Gonna take some damage from the hazards, and this is very painful, this is very upsetting. There are a lot of hazards going around. But yeah, the Aegis Slash was clearly not the matchup they wanted, so they do switch out into their Latios, who can threaten me very directly with the Psyshock. So it's going to get sapped by the Leech Seed, as I did predict the out switch, and they go into their Ferrothorn as I went for the Sludge Bomb. Not anticipating the Ferrothorn to come back in, it would have been super cool if I did. But alas, I am not that smart. They go into the Tyranitar as I went for the Hidden Power of Fire, because I just wanted to hit the Ferrothorn, okay? I really, really did. But my opponent, I really wish I'd gotten a chance to set up hazards, which I did at the beginning! But, because they switch around a hell of a lot, and there's nothing punishing them. So, I went for the Giga Drain at the T-Tar, get the Ferrothorn, it sucks. But this time, I just go for the Hidden Power of Fire. They've been switching around enough, and I think they're just trying to get me to make a boo-boo. But this has been a whole lot of nothing happening, while they're just getting chip damage across their Pokemon, so I really don't mind. I really don't mind this. Marcus is barely suffering while they're kind of taking slight damage across the team. So I went for the Leech Seed here, and I caught the Gliscor as they switched out again, which is very nice. And basically, my opponent is of the mind that they don't want to keep giving me Leech Seed, so he's going to switch out again here and go into the Aegis Slash. As I went for another Leech Seed, so so this is wonderful. The out switches are happening, and I'm getting Leech Seed recovery, so it's fine. There's still no way in hell I'm going to be able to live a Psyshock, but my opponent is really hoping that I'm going to switch out at some point, I think. But I've got really no reason to. So I go for the Hidden Power of Fire just because, man. Just because. And my opponent is able to kill me off with a Psyshock, and that's all Marcus wrote, I'm afraid. But Lucifer is back, and I actually was trying to bait them to switch out and go into their Ferrothorn, which my Gyarados can set up on. So, yeah, this was a pretty scary play for me, because I thought if they go for the Psyshock or something, I'm toast and I lose my win condition. Gyarados is my win condition in this game, but they went for the Healing Wish, and the Aegis Slash gets, like, I don't know, Jesus. You know, Jesus comes and fucking says hi to him, not that he fucking says it. Goddamn, look at it, it's goddamn evil! But I get lucky with the flinch, and it's so nice, He could have King Shielded there, but I had a feeling he wasn't going to, so I went for the Dragon Dance at the possible King Shield or switch, and out comes the Ferrothorn. I wasn't scared of this thing because I have the Substitute, which means that its T-Waves are not going to be able to get me, and I'm going to be potentially able to get the Dragon Dance. And I know that that Bounce will be enough at +2 to KO the Ferrothorn from this range, especially because it seems to be a especially defensive variant, so that Bounce will do a good chunk of neutral damage. And Gyarados is very strong. Gyarados is very strong as much as Ferrothorn is very defensive. So now at this point I do decide to go for the Bounce because I couldn't risk Waterfall because it wouldn't do enough damage, and Bounce is good and neutral, good and neutral. My opponent is going to switch out and go into their Tyranitar to take the Bounce, and I was actually really hoping these bounces would land, because Bounce damage plus Waterfall would be enough to put the Tyranitar, you know, would put it out of its misery, and it would be great, but my Bounce misses, and I was so scared of this thing going for Stone Edge or something, but they just didn't. They just didn't, so yeah, kind of, I don't know, Leo was able to kind of run around a bit more than he really rightly should have. But I do manage to get a Waterfall on this Ferrothorn, and I wasn't sure what they were doing here, trying to get some Iron Barbs damage on me, possibly. But I went for the Bounce again as they go for the Gyro Ball, trying to break any potential subs. Which is fine, which is kind of all they can do because they've already set up the hazards. and T-Wave wouldn't do anything to a sub. So again, go for the bounce, and yeah, a really cool thing happens, and I don't get the... So that was superb. I really enjoyed that. I love that. I wish it would always happen. In fact, I just wonder why hit moves at all? Why don't you just miss every single thing? But I did get it. This waterfall is going to be enough to take down this pain in my ass, so I can sit much more comfortably. And the sandstorm is going to subside. My opponent will bring out their Aegislash now. And I was like, it's not no King Shield, so I went for the waterfall because I was trying to think what would I do. And as I said, I play Aegislash quite offensively, or at least I did. And yeah, I had a feeling I would have gone for the attack there. So while they go for the King Shield, I actually went for the bounce, because just in case, and I would be able to get some leftovers recovery while I was up in the air anyway, so it's okay. Be warned! You can be hit by thunder while you are up in the air. Those of you who want to try out bounce, it's very, very good on Gyarados. It's so nice, get the flying stab, which normally doesn't really see much action in my opinion. But finally we managed to catch the Tyranitar, and this next waterfall will be enough to take it out. And that's just superb, my friends. It's absolutely superb. So my opponent only has left the Aegislash and the Gliscor, both of which I know I can take out with my Gyarados. Now, I go for sub, they go for sub. Their final move is Earthquake, and they can't hit me, so I did decide just to forfeit there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, a little quick backstory, well, the rest of the story on this battle anyway. My opponent did decide to just stick around and sub-protect at me for no reason other than to waste my time. Maybe they were pissed about the flinches, but I don't know. Either way, it was... Ugh. I just stopped recording there and missed out like 20 turns of stupidity. But yes, so guys, if you liked that battle, I know it was very fast-paced, and I'm sorry if my recording jumped around a bit. It's because I couldn't find a good harmony with the speed, so I hope that was okay. Leave a like if you are so inclined. If you enjoyed that battle, as always, your support is so very dearly appreciated. Guys, thank you so much for your continued viewership, and thank you any new people who have been appearing. Hello, and it is so nice to have you here. Thank you so much, guys, for taking the time to comment and viewing everything. It's just really cool, which brings me to the QOT, which is actually gonna be really gay and sappy, and it's gonna be, why are you guys so awesome? Feel free to answer in as much or as little detail as you like. We're gonna get some guy who's gonna like write this gigantic piece of like scripture about how amazing they are, and or like some incredible backstory. The best comment, I will notice the best comment. And, yeah, I will laugh indeed. So yes, again, in as little or as much detail as you like. How come you are so awesome? So guys, yeah, feel free to subscribe if you have not already, because it would be an absolute pleasure to have you here with us. I do appreciate every single one of you. You are very dear to me. Thank you so much. But more importantly than likes and subscribes and all of that jazz is for you all to take care of yourselves, and I will see you soon. Bye bye.